The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
As a former New Hampshire state representative who marched with Dr. Martin Luther King in 1963, he currently serves on the New Hampshire Commission for Human Rights. He's a product of Birmingham, Alabama, where at one time he had to guess how many jelly beans were in a fruit jar just to be able to vote.
We've come a long way, but we're not there yet.
Together we will explore the visible laws, invisible laws, and the structures above and beneath our human surface that keep us reaching for the stars. It is his goal to work with you in putting Nashua back on top, to be voted the #1 city in the nation again.
We are in a crisis situation, and that's what we're going to talk about.
I'm Harvey Keye. Welcome to Nashua Strong.
Hello, Nashua, New Hampshire. We're back again. We've had a little break because the voting booths were filled with people this time, and a huge number of people got in who didn't think they would get in. As you know, that my tear on voting comes from the fact that when I got out of the Korean conflict, I got back to Birmingham, Alabama, and I couldn't vote. And the reason I couldn't vote is because the fellow who stood behind the voting booth in Birmingham was a huge guy with a big gun on his side, and he said to me, if you can count the number of bubbles in this bar of soap, you can vote. Now, that was what they called at that time Jim Crow, segregation. The colored folks sat one place, the white folks sat at another place. You couldn't vote because you didn't have any property. You couldn't vote because you couldn't have whatever they chose to put the challenge on you to resolve. And I will never forget that day, and I got to New Hampshire by crook and crooks and more crooks, and got a chance to become a state rep, and now I'm a human rights commissioner. And one of the things that's dear to my heart is voting. We need to continue to understand what voting is. Voting is, in my opinion, the fuel that keeps this engine called this country going. And there's some reason the people in charge do not want you to vote. I just want to let you know that I will talk about that every time I'm here. It has nothing to do with race, creed, or color, or money. It has to do with control. It has to do with, I call it suppression and oppression. They keep you out of the ballot box. They keep you out of offices to make money. They keep you out of any place that has dignity and pride and respect. And what we have to do as a community right here in Nashua is make sure we outthink them and get to the polls and vote. We'll be talking about that as long as I'm on the show. And thank you so much. Listen, just in case that you didn't know, we had the greatest turnout this time than we've had for the last 8 to 10 years. And a large number of young people have come up to the plate, and they swung the bat, and they hit a home run. Thank you so much, all of you who have participated in this very fantastic ideology that we have in this country called voting. That's what it's about. Now let me introduce to some and present to others a young lady that I've admired and known for not very long, but it seems that I've known her for longer because she's such a whiz in our community. I don't want to blow her head up too much because she is out there doing things. And today we want to talk about finances and what to do with money. And just recently, I think she talked about how money works in the local community. And we talk about this all of the time. But money, if you don't have money in this country, you might as well leave the country. You got to have money or you will not be looked upon well. Matter of fact, you might be on a beggar's list. Let me introduce you to my friend, Sonia Prince, who's going to talk about how money works in a local community and around the world. Hey, Sonia, thank you for coming.
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy to see you. So it's
Same.
all yours.
Around the world.
I just want to ask you a couple of questions. Yeah. Because it works here locally, it works
Yeah.
about the same globally.
Yeah, the concepts.
I
are
just
the
want to
same.
ask you a couple of questions. How did you get into this money business?
I was a client first and very naive about money, actually. We never went without. We always had jobs and kept afloat. But, two people with degrees, we thought we were doing okay. Money was coming in, money was going out. Those are the areas I thought existed. Well, turns out there were 7 areas of finance. And I was introduced to a financial coach, kind of like myself today, and they taught me what to do with my money, how to prevent certain things, how to look ahead, how to grow my money, how to protect my money, how to set goals for the future and attain them.
Do you have to have a certain amount of money to do that, like protect it, grow it?
Not necessarily. You have to have goals.
So the amount of money is not important.
Not necessarily. Depends on your goals, right? So each individual or family has different goals. I have some families I work with, they tell me, I just want to pay my bills, nothing more. We're homebodies, we don't do much, I just want to pay my bills. Other people, they're, I want to do this for my children, I want them in these activities, those activities, I want to travel, I want to go camping in the summer, I want pets, I want this, I want that. So their goals are all different. So getting to know a family, getting to know where they are and where they're headed, right? Money can be made. It just takes time and a plan. And that's the biggest thing, right? People
Is
don't.
it being made or being saved? Let's say they have a revenue stream that's coming in. Call it $20,000 a year. A family of 2. That's poverty-stricken.
Yeah, not a lot of money is going to be saved
Yeah,
at that
okay.
level.
So let's say
unfortunately.
they have $50,000 a year. A family of 2. And you are saying you protect it by watching where it goes. How can you save? What are some areas that this family of 2 can save?
So there are multiple areas that we can look at. We analyze what they have and what they're paying out, what's coming in and what's going out. And whatever's going out, we're looking at, is there a better deal out there? Is there a company out there that maybe doesn't spend as much money in marketing? Because a lot of times the bigger companies who spend a lot of money in marketing, that cost gets passed down to the consumer. So we try to find ways to maybe get the same service for a little bit less money.
Let me ask you this. Would insurance, car insurance, and home insurance be an example? Can you
Sure.
you
Debt,
allude
taxes.
to that? And because, one of the largest expenses we have in our household is a car. House, car, and food, I would imagine, and insurance. And I'm just wondering if there's some ways that tips and not tricks, but ways that you could suggest that a family of 2, a family of 4, with $60,000 could save $300 to $600 or $800 a month.
Absolutely. So we have companies that we work with that we can call and do price checks. So they will look at each state individually, depending what state you live in, and check all the A+ rated companies. And then you might end up with the same company at a better deal. We encourage everybody to call at least once a year to check what the insurance prices are, because sometimes they go down, and the companies aren't going to call you to tell you they went down, right? They have money
How do
coming
you mean?
in,
How
they're
do you
going to
mean?
keep that steady
You mean
payment.
the price, their premium price
May go down.
could go down?
Yeah, the
But then
national average goes down sometimes, but they're not going to call you to tell you,
Let-
hey, the prices have gone down, we decided to cut your bill.
Right.
So-
Right. And why would the prices go down in an insurance?
It's based on a national average, and they're only supposed to charge so much over the national average, but
there
they don't
rules
have
that-
to tell you once you're locked into
Are
a
there
price.
rules or federal rules?
I'm not sure if they're federal rules. There are rules, but I know that if you're locked into a price, they don't have to lower it unless you call them and ask. So calling and asking once a year is worth doing. For instance, we had gotten our insurance switched over and saved a little bit of money, not a lot, that year. And then we called the following year, it stayed the same. Called the following year, it stayed the same. The third year, we called and we saved $350.
What motivated you to call your insurance company about your car insurance?
I wouldn't have known. I had a financial coach who told me to do that. They know the tips and tricks. We know the tips and tricks.
So where do we find financial coaches? Because in Nashua, we have a huge number of people who have 3 or 4 kids making $60,000, and they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Right. Unfortunately, most of the companies out there, they do a certain section. Some will deal with debt, some will deal with insurance, some will deal with accounting, tax strategies. My company does a little bit of everything, so you kind of get the one-stop shopping in that sense, because then we can say, okay, well, how does your credit score affect your insurances or your ability to loan money at a better cost? And if there's a problem there, we're going to work on the credit score, right? So we're going to save them money maybe in 6 months and not necessarily right away until we fix the credit score. And then we teach them, okay, well, how does your taxes affect your mortgage and so on. So we try to...
Is that complicated, Sonia?
It can be a little bit for the average person.
You're speaking language now I'm not accustomed to listening to, and I'm not a financier, but I like money.
Right.
And just folks, just let me tell you, Sonia saved me, I believe, $90 a month on my car and home insurance last year. And that's not the reason I brought her here or asked her to come on the show. I asked her because I want her to tell you what she did for me, she can do for you. And she can do even more if you go to one of her classes. I believe you have classes in Nashua. And how long does it last?
It's about an hour and 15 minutes.
Is there a fee?
Nope, never a fee. Our classes are educational classes. We're trying to help families get ahead. This education is not necessarily offered in most schools.
Yeah.
And usually there's a reason being for that. The less you know, the more people can sell you products that you may not need.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Or maybe overcharge you because you just don't know what the going rates are. So we try to educate people on all aspects of finance. I mean, I could be there for 20 hours if I wanted to do a thorough job on every topic, but we break it down in bite-sized pieces. So tomorrow night we'll be trying to keep up with inflation, basic investment concepts to learn how to do that depending on your level of risk. And most families out there, they don't have $1 million put away for retirement. So the first problem we run into is, hey, I'm short $550 a month that I have to put away till retirement to get to this $1 million, right? It's called a financial independence number. Is what is that big chunk of money that I need for that 20 or 30 year period of retirement when I get there?
Most of us don't think that way.
No, we don't. Normally, most people plan their vacations, right? They take probably a week to plan their 2-week vacation, but for retirement, they might take 10 to 15 minutes. They go to HR if they have a 401k, they'll be given a packet, they'll pick their age group, right? They're called target date funds. They're just simple pre-planned funds that get dumped in there, and they're not necessarily what you need according to your family and your goals, but it's better than nothing. It's growing at least, but most people just don't know, and the HR people don't necessarily have the level of education where they can give you financial advice.
That's not their business.
Not necessarily, yeah. So hopefully that company who sponsors comes in and helps people with that, or usually they get an 800 number. So if you want a little bit more personal touch, you sit with people like me.
Yeah.
We go through it together.
You think that most people, and I want to concentrate on Nashua, because I love Nashua, and I think I love Nashua. I would go back to career for Nashua if I have to. But $300 to $800 per month saving, and right here in Nashua for people who are making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. Well, $300 to $800 a month is 12 times 3 is 36, 12 times 8 is 96. That's almost $10,000 between $4,000 and $10,000 a year they could save by coming to one of your classes.
Absolutely.
Now, that's a real benefit, I think, and that's just one of the strengths of Nashua. And our Mayor Jim Donches has applauded the fact that we bring great things to Nashua. We bring people like yourself to talk about helping people. And we can't really expect to receive anything unless we give something. That's a national, international, universal, divine handout. If you don't give, you won't receive. So you're giving a lot, and you don't charge for this. Mm-hmm. And usually, how many people in this class, Sonia?
It varies from 15 to 30 people. We have multiple classes going on different topics. So I have a lot of classes I do with small business owners for tax strategies. That's a really important one. A lot of business owners are losing money and they don't realize it. So going through that class is a really
This is for businesses also? Mm-hmm. Small businesses?
Yeah, small and big. Yeah. We're all kinds of sizes. Yeah, we work with a lot of different
How do you get people to come to your class other than...
We publicize, so there's a mailing list. If you want to get on the mailing list, it's ssprince1@comcast.net.
Will you do that again slowly?
Sure.
Get on this list, folks. This is her list to get an email?
Yeah, for workshops.
For workshops. And it's
ssprince1@comcast.net.
ssprince1@comcast.net. And you'll always get something in the mail telling you when Sonia is going to be around, giving you some tips and some, I'll still say tricks, to keep your money in your pocket. So doing this, what do you have coming up, like other than tomorrow?
We just finished one that was for landlords. So a lot of families I meet with, sometimes they're kind of getting up there in age and they just didn't put anything away. Life took over and they were paycheck to paycheck, and there's always something. Sometimes there's money left over at the end of the month and you choose to do something different, right? So
what can you do with people like that?
We try to get them younger is what we try to do. But so when they're younger, we teach them to pay themselves like a bill. You pay yourself first like a bill, and it's for your future. You're investing in your future. Then
so you have it deducted automatically and goes into
we try to set up a system like that. Yeah, absolutely. And then with the older couples, we try to figure out if there's a potential of making extra income. Sometimes it's just a better career, or maybe 1 year of schooling and it gives them a better paycheck. Other times just looking for a better job. They may not have tried to look for a better job, or they got stuck where they were for a while and didn't really have that push that they needed to do something. And once we get them excited about their goals, they get excited about moving on and trying new things. And sometimes we teach them how to move from a single home into a multifamily home, because that creates a bit of a cash cow for them. But you can't be jumping into a 3-family and decide overnight I'm going to be a landlord. So we try to educate people. So we have landlord classes. They're broken into 3 different sessions. And we try to teach them what the laws of the state are, how to be a good landlord, how to take care of the property, take care of the people, know what the rules are, know what you're getting into, how to pick a property, what areas, things like that.
Are you the only instructor at your classes?
No, absolutely not. We bring in some people who are brilliant in that field. Sometimes it's people from the Landlord Association.
Let's say, for instance, tomorrow night, who are you going to have as guests?
Tomorrow night it is me and Mary Ellen Sykes.
Okay.
She's a lady from Massachusetts. We both work in financial coaching and teaching. So we will both be covering each a half.
Yeah.
And talking about one of the hot topics lately is ID theft. So we'll be talking a little bit about that.
ID theft? Mm-hmm. How can they steal anything from... How is that done?
Everything's hackable these days. Everything's done electronically. I have clients who say, I do everything via cash. Well, I hate to break it to them, but as soon as they file their taxes, it's online. As soon as they bring money to the bank, they're doing a transaction online. Everything is done online. So it's a necessary evil nowadays to protect yourself from ID theft. It just is. It's like an antivirus for your computer. Now that everything's electronic, you have to have that level of protection.
What kind of protection can you get to prevent them from stealing my ID from my pocketbook?
Right. Well, you heard about the Experian break hack. I don't know if you're
No.
You didn't hear about that? Anyway, most people have. They're one of the three.
I'm a little bit out of the limelight. I don't get a lot of this stuff, and I use one credit card, one debit card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use credit cards because I don't. You got me out of the credit business.
I did?
So I don't owe anybody.
Oh,
Thank you
wonderful.
very much, Sonia. I don't owe anybody any money. We don't have credit. We don't have debt out like that.
That's good.
But my wife uses the banking transaction online.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good habit?
It's fine. Like I said, anything is hackable today. If it's going to happen, it's not if, it's when it's going to happen.
It's going to happen?
Yeah, like Target got hacked a few years ago at Christmas time. The IRS got hacked 5 times. So everybody who files a tax return, your information is out there. If you've ever used a photocopy machine, your information's out there. I mean, anything.
Is your Social Security number on the back of your neck?
The veterans were broken into as well.
Yeah.
Everything. So Social Security numbers on your taxes. If you received a tax refund from the government, they also stole your bank account number and PIN. So if you're one of those people, I highly recommend.
Say that again.
If you got a return from the government owed you money and they did a direct deposit into your bank account, they also got your bank account and your PIN number. So if any of you people are one of those people, probably a good idea to change your PIN. The hackers tend to wait a year because they know the system. The system says if a company gets broken into, the company has to offer everyone a 1-year ID theft monitoring service. Now, they don't guarantee your money back. All it does is monitor and alert you if somebody's using your account.
Is that a charge for that?
Not for the first year. But after that, your information's gone. It's been hacked. Somebody has it. But after the company offers you that free 1 year of service, after that, they don't have to pay for it anymore. So now it's up to you. Now you know that you've been hacked. You know they have the information. And the thieves are getting better at this, so they're not stupid. They're waiting a year before they mess with anybody's account. So they might do a little test a year and a half later and ping 50 cents to see if anybody notices. Now 50 cents times 80,000 people, that's a lot of money.
It is.
And they can take more if they notice that somebody's not paying attention. So it is something that you should get monitored. It is what it is, but it's like an antivirus for your computer. If you don't have something monitoring your ID, you definitely should. And if you do get a product, make sure it does your insurance cards, your previous addresses, your previous names.
Is that expensive?
It can run about $10 to $15 a month, depending what
Could
company
be.
you choose. Yeah.
Anything less than that?
No, that's about the going. Anything that's free out there, beware.
There ain't no freebies?
If you read the fine print on the agreements, most often they're sharing your information with a third party, and they say that the third party they're not responsible for what the third party does with the information. So therefore, they're selling your information. So anything that's free out there, I'd be looking at those terms and agreements really carefully to make
And our
sure.
government can't do anything about it?
Pardon me?
Government can't do anything about it? That's
I think they're trying
Isn't that a banking issue?
No, it's an internet issue. It's just, if you buy anything online, if you apply for something, I don't know, do you ever get junk mail? You know, you give to one person, all of a sudden you're getting junk mail from everybody because they share, right?
Yeah.
So people are selling your account. Like they might do research on the internet and bundle up Harvey Key's information and then sell it to the highest bidder. I mean, it's just a big market out there.
That's what do they call that? Theft.
Yes, it is.
That's
ID
what it
theft.
is. Theft.
Yeah, so you may not have given permission, but they're doing it anyway, unfortunately.
We haven't gotten around to doing anything about it yet.
Other than monitoring, there's not much you can do.
The hackers are the hackers, and they're experts at hacking.
It's the number one theft these days because, there's cameras everywhere. And it's kind of hard to be a thief,
Wow.
which is great. But now the new thing is online theft.
Tell me, Sonia, how can you determine the value of $1 today 10 years from now? Is there a formula?
There is a formula. So you can calculate. We have a nice software system that I can plug in, 4%. I'll use inflation at 4% because normally it's closer to 3%, but you could have a bad year or 2 or 3. We don't know what the future holds. So when I try to predict what's going on for a family, I try to calculate it at 4% and looking ahead. But they give you like an idea of a young person who's just getting out of college and starting to work, 22 years old. Let's say they make $30,000 a year. $30,000 a year, by the time they retire at age 65, that $30,000 buying power, you now need $73,000 buying power. So we're trying to calculate those numbers to see what they need as they go on, depending on their lifestyle, right? So their salary, their lifestyle, a lot of different things that get calculated in that formula.
Is one of the, I want to call it one of the rituals of being rich at one point, or a good investor, is frequency of saving rather than how much it is? Does frequency,
Consistence.
consistently.
Yeah,
That
so
you do it every month, you put $10 away or $20 away, and that compounds. Does it compound?
it does, depending where you put it. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the rules we're going to teach tomorrow night. It's called dollar cost averaging.
Folks, listen to this, because you're going to need this money at Christmas. Christmas is only a month and a half away.
Yeah, we can talk about Christmas in a minute.
Yeah. Because, I know that a huge number of single parents in the Nashua area don't have and won't have what they would like to have when Christmas time comes. I'm working with the soup kitchen and for hungry kids. I don't know if you've heard this program, but I help feed kids who are hungry on weekends where they don't have food in Nashua. We'll talk about that another time. But right now, they're a month from Christmas, so I'm wondering, how is it that Sonia can help us, Nashua, single parents with 2 or 3 kids, with 2 or 3 jobs, make it a better Christmas?
I would have to meet with them sooner than later because we have about a month, right?
Yeah.
But typically when I work with a family, I highly, highly encourage them not to use credit cards or fall for the, you get 10% off if you sign up for this credit card, right? Because what they're hoping is you're not going to be able to pay the bill after Christmas. And then they're going to charge you 15, 20, 25% interest. So that little 10% off that you got ended up costing you.
Is that legal?
It's absolutely legal.
The rate of interest is as they choose?
It can vary according to your credit score. Typically, it's 10% and above. The highest I've ever seen was 32%.
Is that an annual rate or a monthly rate?
It's compounding monthly. Yeah, so if you use the rule of 72, which tells you how quickly it can double,
Yeah.
so your debt could double in 2 years if you're making minimum payments.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're never going to get ahead. And that's where I worry about people the
You know,
most.
people, I know that I know you, because my feeling is, I want to borrow $200,000 and give me 50 years to pay for it, and I want to pay $1 a month back. I know that's laughable, but that's how I feel about all of the money that someone else has. 2% of this country owns 98% of trillions and trillions of dollars. And the people in the middle class and low class are just having such a hard time every year. And the Christmas carols and the songs cheer them up, a big letdown after Christmas. And I want to help stop that. And I hope you help me stop that by taking care of yourself and your money, and come to a class tomorrow night that Sonia is delivering. And I want to call it almost preaching, because she loves this business. This is not a job for her. She's telling you that from her heart. And not only that, from her own experience, because she got out of the soup by having someone coach her a few years ago. How long have you been in this business?
It's going to be my 6th year.
6 years. She still looks 25, right? Well, thank you so much for that. Now, you were going to tell me something about this Christmas, how you could talk about that a little bit how I'm really hurting to help single parents who have 2 and 3 kids. Where the guy is, I don't even want to talk about it. Doesn't make any sense. But the young people in our society, we just don't need hungry kids and kids who don't have enough. And so those parents need to be listening to you. And there's no fee. Just get down
Never
there
a
at
fee.
7 o'clock and listen. Or take this email address.
Yeah, because by the time this airs, it may not.
Yeah, you won't see this until maybe
Right.
24, 36 hours. But if we can help a few families in Nashua to get up off their knees and have some pride and respect and dignity for the city that we live in through Sonia, that address again, the email address?
ssprince1@comcast.net.
ssprince1@comcast.net. All they have to do is,
Email, workshop list, and
there's a list that pops up. And
I'll be putting them on a list.
and she'll put you on the list. So please do that. And you don't have to report to me. Just you will have a better Christmas. So Sonia's going to tell us a little bit more about what she does and where her heart really is in this business. And I know it's not a job for her. It's a love for what she's doing. And she's given and given and given. And Sonia, tell us whatever you'd like to tell us.
Absolutely. So I'm very much needs-based and solution-driven. So finding the needs of a particular family, whether it's a single mom with children or somebody working 2 to 3 jobs, whatever the case may be. Once I sit with the family, get to know them, analyze what's going on, what they need, what they want, we try to set up a plan. That's the biggest thing. Achieving any goal in life, you have to have a plan, with steps, attainable steps.
Yes.
If I give them a goal that's up here, they're going to get discouraged and quit about down here. And they're just going to stay stuck in the mud and be doing the same thing over and over and not getting ahead. So we try to break it down in small bite-sized pieces. We educate them in small bite-sized pieces. So I sit with them 4, 5, 6 times sometimes, hour and a half at a time. We try
That's
to go
individually.
Through.
Wow. Do you go to their homes, would you?
Absolutely.
There's no fee for that?
Nope.
You don't charge for gasoline?
Nope.
You don't ask for dinner or lunch or anything like that?
Sometimes they feed me, actually. What goes around comes around, but there's no more joy than when you sit with a family who are in a bad place and maybe they weren't sleeping well at night and maybe they had, $100 left in their savings account. And all of a sudden you meet with them again 6 months later after you're done, and now they have a savings account that's a little more beefed up. You see a little bit more brightness in their eyes. You see that they can see the goal, that they're getting closer to their goal, and they can sleep better at night. There's nothing better than that. So you know what? We don't always make money, but what goes around comes around. When I help a family, they tend to refer me to other people who need
I'm so
help.
proud of you, Sonia. I am indeed jumping over hoops because of you and what you're doing for our community. I'm sure Jim Donches appreciates it, and all of the people down at City Hall and the soup kitchen, because all of us are pulling in the same direction, hopefully, to help young people and particularly youngsters to have some hope and self-respect in this country to do better. In your case, how long did it take you to get out of the soup?
We didn't have a ton of debt. We just never had enough in savings. So with 3 kids and some health issues and a dog who was always at the vet, we'd save up some money and then something would happen and then we'd be drowning again. And we'd save it up again and then something would happen. And if it was something big, then we'd, be swiping that credit card, which was really bad because then we'd have to pay back with interest if we couldn't pay it off the next month. So it was always like just making it, but one big catastrophe.
And both of you were working.
Yeah, both of us were working. So one thing could have set us off into bankruptcy or, something bad. Luckily, we were healthy and nothing bad happened, but, it wouldn't have taken much for us because we were always paycheck to paycheck, just making it.
You guys you're college educated.
I do.
Speak 2 or 3, 4, 5 languages.
Two.
Two. And your husband is an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
So you weren't at the low level of income. You were up there in the income business. But with
Right.
3 kids, and the cost of doing business in our marketplace today, it's marketing, 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 marketing at you to get your money all of the time. And some people don't know as much as you know, or get a chance to become aware as much as you know, get hit harder.
Right, because you might go here for your accounting, there for your credit cards, there for your banking, there for your insurances. You know, all these different vendors, they want something from you, right? They want your money. So you're dishing out money in all areas, but you're not necessarily sure that what they're giving you and the price they're giving you is great because you don't necessarily have the time to do the research, right? So
Right.
there's not anybody out there going around saying, hey, you know, I can do the research for you. And that's kind of what we do in a way. But we try to teach them how to hang on to more of their money and then make that money grow for them, right? So like when we're putting money into our savings account, you know, we're getting simple interest. But when we borrow money, we're charged compound interest.
16% by the average bank.
It can vary, yeah.
Yeah, but it starts about 16% that they charge you
Depends,
based
yeah.
on your credit rating.
And how much you're borrowing.
And how
yeah.
how does a credit rating affect? Let's say, for instance, I don't know the numbers, but I think my credit rating is because we don't have credit cards. And we pay everything on time. It doesn't lapse 2 or 3 days. And I think my credit rating is around 800, 775 or something like that. Because I listen to you. I listen to you. I don't use a credit card. I pay the bill on time. And I don't pay a little bit. I pay what they ask for on time. And paying part of it affects your credit, right?
Yeah, so paying the minimum can get out of hand. If you can pay a little bit more than that minimum amount that they're asking,
Yeah.
then you're kind of taking a chunk off the compounding that's happening, depending what the amount is. If it's a big amount, then you're going to get
What are some of the
hit
most typical problems, let's say? Is it car insurance, home insurance? Is that
It's debt.
That's a big one?
hard. Yeah, no, the biggest problem is debt. So the number one cause of bankruptcies is usually a health issue. Number 2 is divorce. And number 3 is a job loss. So those are the 3 issues that I deal with the most when I see a lot of debt. It's not because they're out shopping, and we do have those on occasion, but it's not the norm. The biggest problems I see out there is a health issue, a job loss, or divorce. And a couple of months of that, and that can really hit you hard. And you
There's
can
some
fall
people
behind.
in our society, right here in Nashua, New Hampshire, has 2 or 3 jobs. They make $9 to $12 an hour. And they don't have time to do the research, to look at how much they're paying on a car insurance, or how much they're paying on a home, or maybe they don't have a home. Most times.
No, they're renting.
They're
often.
renting. And I don't know some of the other nuances, but I just want to help our citizens do better where you are with the money that you have. And if you come out to tomorrow night and listen to Sonia and one of her partners talk about how to save, how to feel better, how to feel worthwhile. That's what you're going to do. Feel worthwhile in this, our Nashua, New Hampshire, by helping yourself keep your money in your pocket. And what else can you tell us this afternoon, Sonia? I know you got a ton of information. And what is your
So
rank
much to talk
rank
about.
now? You a senior consultant or just a
I'm a division leader.
A division leader.
Hoping to become regional leader soon. And then eventually own my own franchise by next year. So I'll be opening an office in Nashua sometime next year, 2017.
And I'm so proud that I came her way because I'll be doing this for her much more frequently. And if you want to come back on sometime at Christmas, we don't want to give them too much, but we want to just give them an appetizer, a bite of the apple. You want to save some money and feel better for Christmas time, around Christmas time, the end of the year, when things are high and there's an impulse purchasing. Everybody's got some plane goes right in front of your eyes, and you know how hungry we are and how non-thinking we are, and what we will do with our little money and hope to get something and it won't come. I want to suggest to you what Sonia suggested to me. Look at your car insurance. Look at your home insurance if you have one. And look at what's going out and what's coming in. Call SS Prince 1 at Comcast.net. Get on the list. Get down and say hello to Sonia and be the happiest person in the world. I want to thank you, Sonia, for coming with us. You've been a fantastic inspiration, always for me, and hopefully for the people in Nashua, New Hampshire. And I hope you come back. Maybe I'll check with you after tomorrow and see if any of the people who are listening, I hope you're listening, folks. Go see Sonia, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much. There's a number that they can call if you prefer.
The number that you want to call is
866-250-7739.
866.
250-7739.
However you choose to get to us. Thank you so much. See you next time.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.